Hello everyone, welcome to another Exchange 2019 video. My name's Ed. In this video, I'm going to teach you how hackers use the ProxyNotShell exploit to hack vulnerable Exchange 2019 servers. Please take note that this is for educational purposes only, and I have permission to hack this or use this exploit because it's my own lab. If you want to attempt something like this, you need to have written consent as we are ethical hackers. So I want to first explain to you what CVEs we are targeting. Now, in this one, we're targeting CVE 2022-41082 and 41040. The modules are already in Kali Linux in Metasploit. So what I've done is I've already loaded Metasploit. As mentioned in my other hacking videos, if you're not familiar with Metasploit, please go and learn about it. There are many learning or resources available on the internet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to search for proxy not shell. The other one was proxy shell. And you see that we have two vulnerabilities here. What we're going to do is we're going to use 0. So we're going to type in use 0, press enter. And this will give us the default payload, which is Windows Meterpreter Reverse TCP. Now we need to configure our options as we did previously, our options being the username, the R hosts, and the password. Again, this exploit needs a valid username and password, just like the DLP one that I mentioned. So if somebody's gained access to an account, then they can try leveraging it here. So let's set our R host. So our R hosts will be set to our IP of our lab. This IP changes all the time. The username will be user1 at tlab.local, and we'll set the password to our famous strong password, which is password 1. And there's nothing else that we actually need to configure. And what we can do now is type in run or exploit, and let's see what it comes back with. So it'll do a couple of checks against the target. This is a Exchange 2019 server that is RTM edition. You can see it actually tells you the target is vulnerable. And what it does now is it copies the payload in a staged manner. This works well for evading antivirus. The antivirus on the Exchange server at the moment is going mad because it's detecting that there is stuff happening in the background. This just goes to show again that a server that is not patched, and number two, with valid credentials, if you can get into OA or the ECP, if that account is elevated, you can obviously then exploit it. Now, as mentioned in the previous video, sometimes these payloads don't work. If you want to see a list of payloads, we can type in show payloads within within MSM console, and you can see all the payloads that you can use. And just for interest sake, we will actually try this payload just to see if it will work. So we can say set payload, and we put in the payload name, and then we run it again. It will perform the same action to actually copy the payload across. It actually tells you as well the server is vulnerable, and it will most likely fail because the Azure lab is locked down. Let's just give it a couple of seconds to finish its staging. So as you can see while we wait, it is vitally important to keep servers that are internet exposed fully patched. Doesn't matter if you're just using it for hybrid, doesn't matter if it's just being used for internal purposes. If it is exposed to the internet, it will be attacked. So here you can see we actually have a valid shell on the server by changing the payload. And as I mentioned, is you have to try different ways to actually get in. If I type in who am I, you can see again with this payload, ProxyNotShell, just like ProxyShell, I am full admin on the machine. And from here, I can elevate my privileges like I did with the ProxyShell exploit. I can create users. There's many things that you can do. Even though this system is running a higher OS, it's still vulnerable to attack. And you can see now I can now create a backdoor to get into this Exchange server going forward. Even if I go and I patch this Exchange server, I still have a means of getting in. And once I'm in now, I can perform lateral movement. I can elevate my privileges to get to domain admin, to get to enterprise admin, and take over the domain as a whole. So please, again, this is for educational purposes to demonstrate how an attacker can get into environment, and you can see how they will have full access and you are none the wiser. So please make sure, number one, you educate your users. Number two, your servers are patched. And number three, keep a lookout for those event logs and antivirus warnings if something like this happens, so that you can try and stop an attack if it is happening. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I thank you very much for watching.